Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us for today's presentation of Pike Electronics' Disaster Recovery Framework for Utilities, or as we like to call it, DIRE. DIRE is a disaster recovery framework that we've built for utilities in the European and North American space that is able to make sure that your Tier 1 applications that you have in your system are recovered as quickly as never before. It does not matter if you're an existing typical customer or a small customer or are already implementing smart meters within your typical integration. DIRE is something that might be interesting for you no matter what stage of the typical life cycle you are. Usually what we find in utilities is that each utility has several Tier 1 applications that it relies on. And this might be asset management through Maximo, some sort of financial information system, and a workforce scheduling system. And I could add multiple others, such as e-business, etc. These Tier 1 applications are running or are integrated with the typical enterprise service bus. And as we all know, the typical enterprise service bus is a standardized messaging layer that is able to communicate with each Tier 1 application on a standardized level and interchange the data almost in real time. What happens is, as you integrate with the typical enterprise service bus, is that the data interchange that goes through the system gets increased exponentially. So we first had 100 data interchanges, then we moved to 10,000. And if you are a smart meter customer, you have 1 million data interchanges a day or even way more. These data interchanges make it increasingly complex, and the volume is way higher than before, and what happens is that the load on your messaging layer becomes more and more important. Each of these products by itself, Maximo, FIS or WFS, all of these products and the interrelated products that are underneath here are able to recover by themselves. So if one would fall out, and this would stop working, it would be able to recover by itself. But all the other applications, such as Maximo and WFS and the other interrelated applications, continue running. And what happens is, as you well know, there's interrelated business processes that send data across the different applications, and they also still communicate with this application that is down. And once that application recovers, it is able to recover all the data it had internally by itself. TIBCO, through its message queuing, will be able to resend the data that it did not get while it was down. But the key point here is that all the correlated business processes that continued running with all the other applications are at a different stage than what they were before FIS went down. And that is where our disaster recovery solution comes in. It correlates the business processes that continued moving forward into FIS and brings it to the same state as our Maximo, WFS, and all the other Tier 1 applications that you rely on. If this has ever happened to you before or during this time, you know how difficult it is to recover and how long it takes. And so what happens is that the recovery time with messaging exponentially increases. Our customer had something happen when it was within hundreds or 1,000 messages a day. It is now within 100,000. And they asked us, what happens if one of these systems goes down? What can we do to ensure that we recover quickly, to provide energy to our customers? Hence, DIRE was created. What it does, it records the real-time messages that flow through your system and recognizes it among the business processes. So down here we have our disaster recovery framework. And we're able to talk to the individual application owners, identify the messages where they flow, and record it as TIBCO is running. And store it all in here among our different databases. If an outage now does happen with Maximo or the financial information system, we're able to recover all this data that we stored during normal runtime, and as FIS comes back up, we can pull down what it has and compare it to what it should have and see if it does have everything it should. This is what we call automated disaster recovery. Dyer records the messages during runtime. If an application goes down, it compares it to what the application has, to what it should have, as the other applications continued running, and is able to resend or refeed everything that FIS should have from its storage. And it is able then to compare it. What that allows you to do is not rely on individual application owners or people that have business process know-how, but you can store this business process know-how in Dyer, have it recorded, and Dyer is then able to make sure that the applications are synchronized when they recover. Another nice feature of this is that as you're growing with TIBCO, you also worry about TIBCO's process management or TIBCO's BPM. The business process flow is not only on the integration layer, but also on the business process layer, incorporating human manpower, service trucks, customer relationship managers, etc., you name it. And as you're implementing this, the main difficulty to do this is to identify the business processes that are flowing through your Tier 1 applications and recording them and centralizing them. What Dyer allows you to do as you're growing with TIBCO is leverage your return on investment with your TIBCO platform, because it not only gives you a reason to record the business processes during normal runtime, but also in case of a disaster recovery. So the business processes that you uncover for Dyer can be used for TIBCO business process management during real runtime. Or vice versa, what you've uncovered with TIBCO business process management as you're growing towards smart metering can be used for the disaster recovery framework when one of your Tier 1 applications goes down. This was a short presentation of Pike Electronics Disaster Recovery Framework built on TIBCO's integration, messaging, and ESB technology, TIBCO's business process management, and we want to make sure that your Tier 1 applications are able to recover quickly as you grow from hundreds to thousands to millions of messages a day. The customer that I was talking about in this example, it took days, if you remember, to recover from 100 messages, and now it takes them only minutes to recover from millions. So we reduced their disaster recovery time by a whopping 97%. Ask yourself how long it would take you if one of your T applications goes down. How long would it take you to recover? Would you be able to recover in days? Or would you be able to recover 97% faster within minutes automatically with Pike Electronics Disaster Recovery Solution? I want to thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you.